Welcome back, everybody, to another rant type discussion video. We're currently on the Friday of the release week for Destiny 2, and I've got to say, even after the last rant and the speaker's location being spoiled, I really did enjoy the campaign, and it was well done. Goal is by far my favorite character now. Just as small as his arc was, it was well developed, and I find he's the most human of all characters, even though he's a Cabal, because he does one thing that we all look forward to. We look for power, and that's all he wanted. He wanted to become stronger, even after the Cabal Empire abandoned him. But I'm not going to discuss the pros about this game, because as many as there are, and as many improvements as there were from Destiny 1, there's still a lot of work to be done. Primarily when it comes to the microtransactions. Now, I will discuss more about the gameplay after, but first I just want to address the microtransactions, which have been plaguing gaming communities all around. Even PUBG, one of the most popular games right now, is being hit with microtransactions. Even though it's only cosmetic, it's still bad for the game. So, why is it so bad in Destiny 2? You might think, there's nothing really special. Tess Everest, as always, only sells shaders and whatnot. But there is a negative to it. Yeah, she sells ships. She also sells sparrows, some ornaments, weapon skins now, which look really cool, as well as armor skins. It's the same thing. But there's one thing that really bothers me, and it's the weapon mods. The weapon mods are possibly the game changer here. We're looking at a community that's very dedicated to Bungie, that loves their content, both back in the Halo days and currently. Maybe some fans have dropped off, some fans have stuck by them. I'm one of those that has stuck by them and trusts them, but because of their publisher, Activision, they're actually just implementing whatever they say to make money. Because let's face it, this may be a game, and they may love their community, but at the end of the day, it's about making the most numbers. Highest numbers are going to win you. And unfortunately for us, we don't profit from the money. They profit from the money, obviously, or else they wouldn't be doing this. So the biggest issue right now is by far the microtransactions. Now, why are the mods so game-changing? Quite possibly, the biggest thing with these mods is how it just gives you straight-up modifications. And these modifications, I'm currently going into them just to check them out, can be from reduces recoil for the equipped kinetic weapon, or improves weapon handling for equipped energy weapon, as well as for power weapon. Then you got improves reload speed for equipped power weapon. You've got increased this armor's resilience. You got increased recovery, increased mobility. And then you've got void melee abilities recharge faster, and I'm sure this is going to cycle sometimes. You got incendiary, grenades that are solar that charge faster, and then you've got class abilities in general that recharge faster when using an arc subclass. This is game changing right here. These are modifications that can be applied to your weapon right now to allow you to get a better edge, and that's not acceptable. People in the States paid $60 for this game. Up here in Canada, we paid $79.99 plus tax, so it goes almost to $90. I paid for, the whole pre-order bonus, whatever, which is fine by me. I wanted to, but I didn't pay for this shit. This is unacceptable. You're charging me a AAA price tag, but also making it pay to win. The point of making something pay to win is that's how the developers get their money back. They charge you $20 to $40 at most. I don't think anybody would charge higher than that. And then you can pay in-game currency through real-world money to get these modifications, to improve yourself, to make yourself better. Now, a lot of people are going to be yelling, oh, but you know you can get these in the game. It's completely legit. You have no problems getting it. That's true, but it's also false. Yeah, at the end of the day, once you hit the level cap of 20, you can keep leveling up and getting one bright engram. But why would somebody grind out an hour or 2 or 3 a day to level up maybe 2, 3, 4 times at most in 2 hours? Why would somebody do that when they can simply drop 20 bucks? And let's take a look at the prices quickly. We're going to go buy silver. Why would somebody do that when they can drop 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks on it? Not much, something reasonable. Something that an average gamer possibly would drop on a pay-to-win game. Why would you do that when you can just drop, $26.99? Being up here in Canada, it would probably be 25 bucks, I'd say, in the States, maybe a little less, or $24.99. You get 2,000 silver plus 300 bonus. Let's see how much that gives us in game. In game, you get 2,300 silver. You can buy almost 15, maybe you can buy more than 15 bright engrams with 25 bucks. Now, yeah, I wouldn't drop 25 bucks on this. Not for a bright engram to get a chance to get modifications. I've already got plenty of modifications. But my point is that there are people that would do this because they don't want to grind. And this is just a cheap way to make money. It's fine to give us emotes. It's fine to give us ships, sparrows, ghost shells, some cool shit, because you get a consistency of every level. But the problem is when you start introducing modifications and you start making those a pay-to-win motto. Some might argue against it. Some might say, oh, it's fine. I don't find it's fine. Because at the end of the day, you're paying to get an advantage. And this isn't what we paid for this AAA title. We paid for a good story, an open world, MMORPG style game. Although it is MMORPG, but people will deny it and that's fine, whatever. But yeah, it's just not normal for something like this to happen, but it will start to become normal the more and more games go on, and the more publishers start pumping and pushing their developers to get a game out like this. The only thing I can say is don't buy it. They're not worth it. Maybe if you buy 1, maybe 3 at most, but I really wouldn't waste my money on this. It's not worth it. You're just encouraging them. If you cut it out and just don't get it, don't pay for it. Don't get involved with these microtransactions. They'll start to see that there's something wrong with it. They'll either change the way modifications are, or they'll take the modifications out of Eververse. And that's the best circumstance. They take it out. I'm not saying to get rid of the microtransactions. I'm saying to get rid of this. Because we don't need this shit. We don't need modifications in our game. Let's set that aside. Let's set aside the microtransactions, and I've got another concern that I started to address on my own, which was the longevity of this game. Yes, the campaign's fantastic. There's so much to do in Destiny 2. You finish the campaign and you still got adventures on a planet. You got adventures on the other planet. You've got missions which each head of the planet or vendor of the planet. It's fantastic. But what happens when I grind out all of those and I hit the max level? Let's say we hit max level before the Osiris DLC drops. What happens then? Well, I'm sure you can still keep grinding, getting all the guns, but let's say we get all of that done in 4 months, because I'm sure a lot of players will. The hardcore players. The more casual players, they'll take their time, they'll enjoy it, there will be no rush for them. Myself being a hardcore gamer and most of the people I play with, we started to notice that if this really does happen, there will be a lack of gameplay, a lack of content. There will still be, I'm sure, Iron Banner, I'm sure, Trials of the Nine now, not Trials of Osiris anymore. And from what I'm understanding is they're going to be rotating strikes and they're going to try and keep it fresh. But I just hope they don't start doing what they did with Destiny 1. What they did with Destiny is they started doing patches every like 2 months or 1 month or something. Instead, they should just add little bits of content. Not much, but, you know, change it up. Change up the weekly, not the weekly, sorry, the public events. Change them up a little. You know, maybe make them harder as time goes on in certain areas. You know, just simple things like that. Making them harder, making the rewards more worthwhile. It would really improve the way the game plays and the way we would go into the game. But setting that aside, the longevity is just what I'm most worried about. The microtransaction would just really tick me off. And we all know Bungie, that right now they're stuck with a publisher that's total crap. Everybody hates them in the gaming industry. Why? Because they all look for money. Activision just looks for money. EA just looks for money. It's a shit show right now. We're stuck with this. As a community, we're stuck with this, but we can change the microtransactions. We can change the mods and modifications of these weapons and armor in this game. We can push Bungie to remove the modifications. I'm not saying remove the microtransactions. Remove the mods. People can still buy all these emotes, ghosts, shaders. They don't really add much. Yeah, the ghosts add a little something, but the rest is all flair. It's all aesthetic. Whereas these mods just break the game. Not break it entirely, but they will have a big influence and big impact when it comes to multiplayer. The PvP aspect. And this is another thing I want to address right now. I don't know if it's because of lack of players on the servers. Well, what servers? There's no dedicated servers. But just a lack of player in PvP, whether public or private. Or if it's just their servers aren't working well. Or their connection to one another isn't working well. And let me know down below if you guys have been having this issue, but connectivity. When you go into PvP, it takes upwards of 10 minutes to find a game. Last night, we were looking for a game. Once you get into a game, that's fine. People stick around and you just keep playing. That's not a problem. But the big problem comes when you're matchmaking for the first time and you're just sitting there in orbit and you just keep saying evaluating Guardians. We were jokingly saying last night, oh, you know, we're just too good. It took our stats from Destiny 2's beta and said we're too good for them. But all joking aside, it should be able to find players at our adequate level. We didn't play a single match. There must be some new people. There must be some lower tier people playing. Even if we end up blowing them out of the water, at least we get ranked a little higher or something like that. And our elo goes up, and then we'll be put into a better tier game. I'm sure there are people playing Crucible right now. It's just, why is it taking so long? Is it a server issue, or is it a player-based issue? If it's a player-based issue, I totally understand, and that means that people are really dedicated to playing this PvE. And I don't blame them. PvE is fantastic. There's so much shit to explore, there's shit to farm. It's really well done. But when it comes to the PvP, I'd like to know, and if anybody does know, do leave it down below so I can also know, because if it is server issues, you know, hopefully they get this fixed by the time they get the clans out, and hopefully the clans will come out soon, because oh boy are we excited to get that moderately sized out there. But aside from that, those are all my concerns. Not too much ranting this video, not like last video. Just because the story did live up to what I expected. Although, I will address one more thing. The end of the campaign, and this is spoiler territory. If any of you haven't finished the game yet, or finished the campaign, the main story, I'll put a timestamp to skip ahead if you've lasted this long in the video. But another thing I wanted to address is the ending. And I'll give you a few seconds to click away. Alright, if you're still with me, then the ending, you'll know that all three Vanguard commanders survive. Ikora, Cayde, and Zavala. If you remember, Cayde had no arm. Ikora was extremely tired, I didn't see her take any damage, and Zavala, I couldn't tell if he got stabbed or just bunted, you know, bunched with a weapon. If he got bunched, I understand, but it looked like he did get cut or stabbed in a way. And I kind of expected one of them to die. I really did expect one of them to die at the end. Even if they would get resurrected by the light, and that would be really cliche, but I did expect one of them to die and just be resurrected right at the end as the Traveler comes back and takes away Gull's light. But that's not what really bothered me. It wasn't the lack of death, even though they kind of built up to something like that. Even after Zavala, Cade, and Akora, all this lovey-dovey crap that I loved. It was when the three commanders start walking towards the edge of the wall. Cade, being the funny guy that he is, I kind of expected him to still have his arm detached, walk up to them waving it up in the air. Then they all start laughing a little, and, he reattaches it and his ghost, heals them up. Kind of expected something like that just because it's funny, It would give us a lighthearted mood and show that really the campaign is over. Things are going back to normal slowly. Cade still has a sense of humor. It's not all serious. Yes, he was lighthearted the whole way through until you see his reaction to our ghost telling him that Zavala did say he needs him. He took it really serious there. But aside from that, they missed a really good opportunity to just give us a lighthearted ending and show us that things aren't all that bad. And one more thing, we're going back away from spoilers now. When they were talking about the speaker and shit was going on with the speaker, I'm not going to get into details what happens with the speaker because I don't want to be in spoiler territory. But when they addressed what happened and they show what's going on with the speaker, I'm sure after the first mission or second mission, you already know. And even from the trailer, that Gull has the speaker, and I addressed this whole issue in the last rant. But I did expect, and I thought, and I hoped, and I wished that the speaker was going to be Reza Lazir. And I know he's not, because if you go through the different scannable locations in the tower, they actually address this, and our ghost says, and I might insert it here, he goes on to say that the speaker's gone and there are multiple speakers.
They rebuilt the speaker's private quarters even after the reconstruction. I still can't believe that he's gone. He wasn't the first speaker. And he can't be the last, right? We still need a speaker, don't we?
That doesn't make sense to me. And I might put a spoiler warning just before I say that. Before I just said that, I know I didn't give an oral spoiler warning, but I might write it down and just put it in. But yeah, now I know it's not true, but I thought he might be Reza Lazir just because of how much they were hiding his face and how much they're concealing him, and they've been concealing him, and that stupid little mask that's been pissing me off. But no, other than that, the campaign was fantastic. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm gonna go back and grind out another 4 or 5 hours before I gotta head out. But I want to get this video done first. It's definitely lived up to some of the hype, not all of it. Microtransactions have ruined a part of it for me, but not the whole game. I'm not going to let some stupid pay-to-win bullshit ruin the game for me. But it does hurt a little to see such a good company produce a good game and yet, on top of that, throw in pay-to-win microtransactions. That's it for me, guys. I don't want to rant too much longer. I made the other video super long. I want to make this one a little shorter, even though we're about to hit 20 minutes. But I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys agree with me on some of these things, especially the microtransaction thing, definitely leave a comment down below. Talk about it. If you don't agree and you think it's not pay to win, I'm willing to hear that out, because I have a few of my buddies that are saying, oh no, it's not pay to win, but it is a pay-to-win motto, maybe not necessarily pay-to-win, but it has that motto around it because you're paying to improve. But yeah, definitely leave a comment, leave a like. I really like the support that you guys are showing me since the last rant video. I know it wasn't so much ranting, but more discussion, and that's how these rant discussion videos are going to be. I'm going to start addressing that. It is a rant/discussion, not just a rant. But yeah, make sure you like if you do like the content, and check out the rest of the channel and want to support this channel. Do subscribe. I'm planning on at least doing weekly videos, even if it's just recap stuff, going over how I'm improving on the game, how I find the game, things they could change in the game, and even addressing DLCs that might be not leaked, but might be mentioned in their weekly updates and whatnot. I don't want to cover leaks because I find leaks are stupid. They're very spoiler inducing, and that's a whole issue that I might discuss on the next video, just because of how bad leaks have been lately. Let me know if you guys want to know my review of this game, what I'd give it, how good I find it. I know I'm praising the campaign, but there are things to improve in the campaign. There are things to improve in the open world aspect. But let me know if you guys want me to go over it, give it a good or bad review, do a stupid bad review. It's up to you guys what you want to see. Comment down below. But that's it for me, guys. I'll catch you out there.